Hey guys, Jory here from Kubo. Bihn just released a really cool mask design, so I wanted to do a quick video on how to assemble it. Step 1, go ahead and trace your mask pattern. When you're done cutting, you should end up with 2 identical pieces. For the ear loops, I went ahead and cut 1-inch strips out of a spandex material. If you take those 1-inch strips and you give them a really good stretch and run them through your fingers, a wizard magic will happen and they will fold in on themselves and will become almost like a cord. This is very soft, very comfortable behind the ears. And on those strips, I'll go ahead and cut 7 inches. I found to be a very good length for each of the ear strips. If you don't have a spandex material, you can do the same thing with a t-shirt. This is just a t-shirt that I cut apart in 1-inch strips and then pulled and the fabric folded in on itself. If you don't know how to make t-shirt yarn, there's a bunch of really good videos on YouTube that you can look up. So we're going to take our ear loop and we're going to sew it on the right side of the mask, and we're going to put that about maybe 1/4 inch from this top edge here. So go ahead and put that down. Now we're going to fold that ear loop in and we're going to put it in this little notch here. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other piece of fabric, except we're going to do it this time in reverse. On the right side of the fabric still, but on the bottom portion, so that when we put the pieces together, the ear loops will be in the right place. Here we go again, about 1/4 inch from that point. Now we have our 2 pieces. We're going to put them together so that the ear loops are on the inside, so right sides together. And then we're going to go ahead and sew along this outside edge from the point around the curve all the way to the other point. On this stitch also, I'm using a 3/8 inch seam allowance, which is what this tape is marking here. Now this is an optional step, but if you want to add the nose piece where you put the pipe cleaner into, you're going to need a 5-inch by 2-inch piece of scrap fabric. I'm just using a piece of nylon I had here. Now to prepare the nose piece, I have the wrong side facing up here. I'm going to fold the edge in. I'm going to eyeball about 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to fold it in half. So you can see here I have like this. I'm going to feed that. I'm just going to take that, I'm going to sew that down. And I'm going to do that same thing to the other side, so wrong side up. I'm going to fold that in there, about 1/4 inch. I'm going to fold that up. So I'm going to end up with this piece like this. Now you can skip the step if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and open up my mask, and I have the ear loops up on this side. Going to take my nose piece, gonna fold it in half. Just want to get a nice crease here so I can see what the center is. And the open raw edge I'm going to place right here on the seam in the middle. I'm just gonna use a clip that down. This part's gonna be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to top stitch down this bottom edge onto the front of the mask, and then this top edge I'm just going to leave unstitched. I don't really need these clips anymore, so I'm just going to go ahead and take those off. So now to make this a little bit easier to demonstrate, I'm going to go ahead and fold this back to where we were before. So we have this outside edge. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold along this bottom edge, but I'm going to open it up first. So like this, open it up, then I'm going to fold it in half. So now I have the mask truly inside out. I have the ear loops going like this on the inside. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to stitch from these 2 corners all the way up to these edges, a little bit past those edges, and then we're going to stop because we're going to need to flip the mask inside out through this top hole that we're going to leave. And then we're going to fix that hole afterwards. And I'm going to go ahead and just line up those corners. And I'm going to sew this down with a 3/8 inch seam allowance. No, I'm not going to sew very far past this corner. I'm just going to back stitch here. Because I'm going to leave that top hole open. Here we go on the other side. Alright, so you can see that we've sewed along these edges and we've left this opening at the top. So now for the fun bit, we can flip it inside out, see the fruits of our labors. And now the last thing that we have to do is stitch this top hole closed, and we're going to fold that top in on itself, and then we're going to top stitch that closed. Here I've just used a couple of these clips to hold this in place. And there you have it, the final mask. Looks pretty good. If you use a bunch of different types of fabrics, you can get some cool 2-tone, 3-tone styles. These masks are also cat-sized, so if you want to protect your cat from respiratory illness, they're also great for that as well.